is the regular meeting of the Tinton Falls Planning Board and is being held in compliance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given by posting on the bulletin board of the municipal building and by noticing the Asbury Park Press and Coaster. Roll call, please.
Chairman Lodato.
Here.
Councilman Nessie. Mr. Clayton.
Here.
Mr. Baldwin.
Here.
Mr. Romanoff.
Here.
Mr. Marachi.
Present.
Mr. Natter.
Here.
Mr. Markoff.
Here.
Ms. Brown. Here. Mr. Wallace.
Here.
Mr. Holubowski.
Here.
Please rise for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For the record, Councilman Nessie has arrived. Citizen Service Act compliance, Borough Ordinance requires us to vote on each board member's absence to deem them either excused or unexcused. I believe we have full attendance. Professional reports, Tom is not here. Christine?
No report.
Dennis?
No report.
Okay, approval of minutes. Tricia circulated the minutes of the October 27th, 21st meeting. Does the board have any questions or comments? I don't hear any comments, so hearing no comment, do I have a motion to accept?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tricia circulated the minutes of the November 10th, 21st meeting. Does the board have any questions or comments? If no comments, hearing no comment, do I have a motion to accept?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Hmm?
Abstain.
Any abstentions?
Same, Chairman.
Yeah.
2 abstains.
Okay. Now, the real reason why we're having a meeting tonight, Master Plan Consistency Review, Ordinance 2021-1484. All ordinance amending Chapter 40, Section 4 of the Borough Code entitled Definitions and creating a new section of the Borough Code, Chapter 40, Section 33.d.17 entitled Electric Vehicle Supply / Service Equipment, parentheses, EVSE, close parentheses, and make-ready parking spaces. Dennis, comments on this?
Just very quickly, and Christine will give your opinion as to consistency. This is a state mandated ordinance promulgated as a result of whatever lobbying efforts occurred by the electric vehicle industry. This is there's a statute in effect which requires boards to require as part of site plan applications under certain circumstances, particularly retail, that the property be designed to accommodate both electric vehicle parking and electric vehicle charging stations. This is the borough complying with that state mandate, providing for that, and that's pretty much it. It's just adding some more design to your items. It's kind of, the real developers now have already been doing that already, meaning, this is something that's coming in the future, but this codifies that.
Christine, comments, please?
From a planning perspective, this is consistent with the borough's master plan. In particular, the goal is to coordinate land use and transportation planning, and also to maintain consistency with the purposes of the NJMLUO.
I have one simple question, and other board members if you have questions as well. Does this impact single-family houses?
No.
Okay.
But essentially what you see, just so you know, in the site plan applications, is it really doesn't, it's not like a change in dimensions, but there may be, in a lot of towns, you'll see variances associated with the kiosks that are in the spaces which usually don't allow those structures in front yards, but your parking spaces, like, think about Walla, right, you have parking all around, so there may be some variances needed to comply with this ordinance, because your other ordinances won't catch up until sometime in the future.
And it does require commercial and multifamily residential site plans to put in not necessarily the kiosks at this time, but to have like the power connection in a certain number of spaces based on the type of development, you know, when it comes through. And it does give a parking credit for, a specific number of make-ready spaces.
So, let me ask you this, there's a Chick-fil-A being developed in our neighboring town, they would be required to have this,
So this state ordinance went into effect in September, I believe. So any application that, you know, was before the board or was submitted prior to that September date, and Dennis can correct me if I'm wrong on the exact date, would not have to comply with this new ordinance, but any application submitted after that date does need to comply.
That's correct.
so the red line is September.
September 2021, I think it is.
Fellow board members, questions for Christine?
I have a question. I don't have an electric vehicle, so I'm not sure how they work, but if you've got a requirement to have one or two of these in front of the restaurant, and I have an electric vehicle and I go and plug in, can I just stay there 2 or 3 or 4 hours, or is there a time limit? Is there a charge?
There is a section of the ordinance that allows for the municipality to regulate that and either charge for, charge for the electric vehicle parking, or require that you are only, in that space while your vehicle is
So
charging.
somebody would have to monitor that, I presume.
Yes, but Tom told me in your ordinance, the decline, the
They
model
declined
ordinance.
that?
Yeah, the model ordinance said that the local police had to enforce that.
Well,
And,
that's a-
and the borough declined to include that in the ordinance,
Yeah, yeah.
so not to put it, you know, the police don't wanna go enforce
No,
that
they wouldn't
kind of
do
stuff.
that.
So it's really gonna be a self-monitoring thing
Right.
for private property owners.
But my understanding is that you're charged for the time on the, system, or on the charger.
And I think, you know,
Yeah, you,
at this,
What's the
right,
same way-
today, in February of 2022, there are electric vehicles out there, but there are not that many that, you know, a vehicle parking in the spot for a couple hours might impact someone from charging. I think the goal is to get these spaces, out there that allow for electric vehicle charging, and as electric vehicles become more prevalent, the borough has the opportunity to figure out how they want to regulate.
So we're not gonna regulate it as, has to be in front of the business, because I'm sure any business would not want that, and they would wanna maybe on the back or the side, so they're gonna have that privilege of where they want it, the designer, that comes
Yeah,
up
so
with
in
it.
the site plan, you're allowed to decide where the spaces are gonna be.
and it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be impacted not only by the spaces maybe used longer, but also infrastructure improvements, just have to run conduit, you know, from their main electrical source out there. So at least the applications that I've seen are generally, I wouldn't say very remote, but it's not, you know, it's never front of the store or high traffic places. It's more tucked away for people that can find a spot when they need a charge.
And I'm sure they're gonna pay for
All has several.
So your ordinance does allow, for a private owner, of an electric vehicle parking space to collect a fee for the use of it. So, you know, you're not gonna park in a space for hours if you're not, and pay for it if you're not.
Yeah, exactly, I don't see any business providing that free electricity with that high voltage.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen them, and they're really just like, you plug it in and you put your credit card in, and however long you charge, it charges your credit card. Like, we're not used to self-service gas in New Jersey, but it's kinda like the same thing, yeah.
Oh,
You take a look at the pumps, how they're being changed in all these gas stations, they're getting close to it.
Oh, they are.
You just gotta swipe now.
Yeah, they are.
Any other questions from the board? If not, I'm gonna open it up to the public. Any member of the public wish to speak on this, section 26 review, or anything else? If not, do I have a motion to close the public section of the?
I'll move that.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. What do we have to do?
With respect to the, resolution that was also on tonight, Tom and their engineer, I'm sure you understand, I cut and paste, conditions out of Tom's report. So there was some confusion, so they asked to pull it and carry it to our next meeting, so we don't have to act on the resolution. If there are any changes made to the resolution, I'll let the board know, but it was engineering stuff, I wasn't, you know.
Okay. Dennis, do we have to have a motion on this section 26 review?
Yeah, would someone offer a section 26,
Just
motion?
one question on the motion.
Sure.
There's no retrofit provisions, with this law, are there? Existing businesses?
No.
Okay, that's all.
So
But it might apply though to amended site plans. But, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Okay, so do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
And that motion is that section 26 report is not inconsistent, with the master plan, and there are no
It's
further
consistent.
comments.
Is consistent.
Technically, it's not inconsistent.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, not inconsistent.
Roll call,
This
please.
is just lawyer talking.
Mr. Marachi?
Yes.
Mr. Clayton?
Yes.
Chairman Lodato?
Yes.
Councilman Nessie?
Yes.
Mr. Baldwin?
Yes.
Mr. Romanoff?
Yes.
Mr. Natter?
Yes.
Mr. Markoff?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Holobowski?
Yes. Okay.
Open public discussion. This is the point of the meeting when the public may speak on any matter not currently pending before the board or regarding litigation. Does any member of the public wish to speak? All right, we don't have any comments, so motion to close the public discussion.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, executive session, Dennis?
No, sir.
Trish, when's our next meeting? March 9th?
Correct.
And what do we have on the docket?
It will be the subdivision for 38 Mayberry Drive that was previously canceled 2 weeks ago, so the documents are already mailed out.
Anybody missing this meeting next time? If not, just let Trish know in advance. Motion to close the meeting?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. It's a wrap.